Hi guys, I hope you all are doing well. It's gotten a bit chilly here. We have a bit of a late winter, so that's been a bit of a surprise. Nice sunny but Baltic days. So when it's cold, I like to eat heavier dishes. We all do, it's human nature. So I thought I'd talk to you about beans. Beans are an absolutely fantastic thing to add to bulk up dishes, and they are a little bit more substantial than lentils. So beans come in all kinds of varieties. There's actually about on average 400 different varieties that are cultivated in different cultures for people to eat. A lot of them we never see in our supermarkets, mainly because they can be really regional and difficult to grow outside their regions. So let's have a look at a couple of different varieties of beans that we can find here in the UK, and I'm sure you can find these in the States as well. Right, so these are garbanzo beans or chickpeas. They're dried and they're really tiny and really dense and really hard. These are really versatile. I actually prefer to cook all these beans from dried because it retains their flavor. These are pinto beans, or sometimes called baby kidney beans. They have a fantastic earthy flavor to them. And behind here we have two tins. These are kidney beans, and there's a tin of butter beans. Now the thing is, with tin beans, sometimes you'll have things added to it, as you can see on the label. Sometimes there's salt and other additives which aren't that great for you. Right, so as you can see, beans come either tinned or dried. There are some beans that do also come frozen, but they're a little bit more difficult to find. And I find that because beans are a high water content food, and that may sound silly, oh beans, they're small and dense, but the majority of beans, whether they are tinned or they're cooked at home from dried, they have gone through the same cooking process. So they're soaked in water, they're boiled in water, so they absorb a lot of water. And when you freeze them, they tend to form ice crystals. Obviously, the domestic freezers that we have freeze differently than the commercial freezers do. But my personal preference is to use a dried bean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cook one of my favorite beans, which actually happen to be the pinto bean. The pinto bean is really versatile because you can either use it in chili, you can use it in a stew, you can use it in burritos, you can use it in as a dip. What I'm going to show you today is my way of cooking refried beans, and then I'm going to carry that to a dip because I want to make a dip out of them. And the only difference between cooking them to put in a stew or a burrito and cooking them to put them in a dip is how long I'm going to cook them and how much water I'm going to keep in the finished product. So let's start cooking our refried beans. Right, so this is the soaked beans. Those are the dried ones. These are the soaked ones. As you can see, the dried ones have all of their spots, and the soaked ones have lost some of their spots and they're about twice the size. I'm going to put a whole onion, a whole head of garlic into the pan. I'm going to rough chop them, take off the papery bits of the peel. And then I'm going to add the beans with all of their soaking water and 5 rashers of smoked bacon. If you want this to be vegan, omit the bacon and put in some cumin and smoked paprika. It's really important that you use the smoked paprika to get a nice smoky depth to it. We're going to bring this to a boil and simmer them for approximately an hour and 20 minutes. That'll get you to the stage where they're ready to either be put in a stew or to blitz down for refried beans. I've added some extra water here because, like I said, I want to make them into a dip, so I want it a bit looser. I want the beans to cook down a bit more. So I've cooked them for an additional 15 minutes, and I'm going to remove all the bits of garlic that I don't want blitzed. Again, if you do this for refried beans, take the bits of garlic out. You can see that these beans have split they're ready to blitz down. You don't want them to get to the stage of splitting for refried beans. You still want them to have some bite to them. I'm going to blitz these by pulsing it because it's just a little bit less likely to spread the beans everywhere all over the place. And I blitz the bacon, the onions, everything all together so it's nice and smooth, and I'm left with an absolutely fantastic light fluffy dip to enjoy. Right, so here's our dip. I'm going to use flatbreads with these. I'm going to have it as a late lunch. This is absolutely fantastic to use with tortilla chips or any other kind of crisps that you want to use. I did not put in any kind of chili or jalapenos, just because I'm not a big fan of really spicy food. My stomach can't handle that. But if you like spicy food, during the cooking process, at the very beginning, chuck in a few chilies. Leave the seeds in. When you blitz it down, go ahead and leave the seeds in as well. Leave the whole chili. It has a better flavor if you use the whole chili instead of chili powder. It just has a better depth of flavor. So the recipe I'm going to list in the comment section below, and go ahead and give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I will also have a little bit more information about different types of beans and different cooking processes and timings over on the blog on the Discover Cooking webpage, which is at discovercooking.co.uk. Have a wee look over at that. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And I look forward to seeing you next week, where I'm going to be talking to you about rice and the difficulties that we have when cooking rice and how we can overcome them in a really few simple steps. So every time you cook your rice, it's going to be perfect. So I will see you next week when we're talking about all things rice. See you later. Bye.